Welcome to the main event Fightcast. I'm your host Vega, alongside my co-host Coach Mike. And boy, were we wrong.
Monumentally.
Hey yo, we're just gonna open it up right away and just Belal is the champion, bro.
Belal's the champion, but
Belal
that's
is
not even the only thing I was wrong about. I was wrong about almost the entire main card.
Yo,
If it wasn't for Arnold Allen winning, I would have been a clean sweep. I got everything wrong.
I had Tom Aspinal really winning in the second round, not in the first round. So I was wrong on that. Yeah, it was pretty bad. All right. So first, I want to say, of course, much respect to Belal Muhammad. I think he had an amazing performance. Did a great job. Killed the performance for sure. I do feel like there's a real strong part of me that feels like Leon wasn't fully there for the fight.
He didn't look like he was there.
And there's no excuse to take away from Belal's win. Belal won the fight point blank period. But I'd love to see the rematch. And we were talking about it a little bit through chat. Like, it doesn't seem like Dana likes giving rematches at all anymore. Like, I started really thinking about it. I can't think of too many.
The welterweight division is a mess. You know that. I kind of feel like Kobe holding it up for the way he did. Kobe fighting Edwards when he probably didn't deserve it. Not only did it hurt Edwards, it just hurt the timetable for all these young welterweights. You haven't seen Shavkat fight in how long? So in a way, I do want to see Shavkat versus Belal Muhammad.
Like I said before, multiple episodes. Like, I can definitely understand that from a fan perspective. I feel the same way. Right? Like, I want to see Shavkat.
It doesn't mean that Edwards would have to be next right after.
Right. But I think respectfully, champions deserve an immediate rematch.
No, but this way it works more effectively, because if you just give Edwards the rematch, then you got to run it back again, because that makes it 1-1.
Yeah.
1-1-1 actually, with the no contest.
Right. The no contest, so it's a 0 there. So it'd be 1-1-1.
But this way,
and there's only one fight left to figure it out.
But this way, if Shavkat wins, it's him versus Edwards. If Belal Muhammad wins, it's the rematch. And if they do have to run it back again, it just makes sense, because there won't be a number one contender that's like out there unless something else happens.
What about Ian?
He's not a number one contender.
But by that point, like, if you're looking at timelines, if you're moving,
who would he have to fight to make it? He would have to beat Usman convincingly, in my opinion.
I don't know.
It would have to be somebody like that.
Or maybe we see Leon versus an up and comer while Shavkat versus.
But that's the point. Like, he would have.
That's what I mean.
He would have a rematch there. He wouldn't have to.
That's the problem, though. No matter how you look at it, somebody's got to sit out for a while. And for me personally, I don't feel like it's fair for the champion to be the person who has to sit out.
That makes sense. That's fair.
No matter how you slice it, somebody got to sit out for a little bit.
You're not wrong. It's just, I guess it's the business part of wanting things to go forward and not get caught up in a trilogy. Well, it'll be a 4-fight.
Yeah, I mean, technically,
trilogy are the ones that matters.
I think trilogies are important.
I
think trilogies are, especially championship trilogies, those are super important.
Yeah, some divisions,
trilogies are not completely necessary, right? Like, if Leon goes in the second fight and makes it very clear that there was something up with him that first performance and just ends it quick.
But what if he knocks him out early? They can say that, he might have just got a fluke early knockout.
That's bad. That's bad. It needs to be something where he's dominating the first round, second round, and then he can get a knockout, right? But like any type of clear domination where it's like, that performance Belal had, like everybody was looking at the fight, and then in that last round, like I said, bro, looking at that last round, you're like, holy shit, did Leon actually just wake up for real? Because you see the instant damage he created. And this is not like damage that was building up. He had already been, like, he was asleep for most of the fight. So that one elbow that he woke up with and just,
it just seemed like he was trying to be too safe, trying to do everything perfectly before actually letting go, and just missed a whole bunch of opportunities.
Like I told you through text, I think especially, with the build up, Again, I'm not looking back on the build up and pretending that I saw any of this. Like I'm just saying, looking back on the build up and even in the moment, the excitement, the energy that Leon had, it wasn't super cocky. So I feel like it was a situation where they really
No,
studied that first fight
it kind of
and they
was
studied a
super
couple.
cocky. I thought it was kind of. I think he was dismissive.
Nah,
I think he was
it's
very
if
dismissive.
if Belal wasn't saying crazy stuff, then it would have come off as dismissive.
I
But
guess, but
Belal
he
was
was
saying
still
some
being
wild,
dismissive
yeah.
to what he was
But
saying.
listen to the crazy shit he was
Yeah,
saying.
I get it. I
You
get it.
can't like that. It'd be wild to entertain
What
that craziness.
was it crazy now?
Hell yeah. He still it did not look like he boxes like Canelo. That has not. That's not.
He looked
He did
comfortable in
not.
front of him. That's all that matters.
He looked like the one thing that Bilal can stand on from before the fight
He looked like the
is
better
that he
striker.
said for sure he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna make it clear that I am better than Leon." That night, he made it very clear he's better than Leon. Whatever extra stipulations anybody wants to apply,
Yeah,
true or
I
false,
will.
that night he looked better. He stood on that. But
He
hands
looked
like
like Izzy.
Canelo, definitely not.
He
Right?
100%
Wrestling
looked
like
like
Khabib,
Izzy
definitely not.
when Sean Strickland was on him. I do think Sean Strickland fights that fight a little better, a little more entertaining.
Not,
He
but
doesn't shoot,
even with that example, like that's a perfect example because if you think
but
about it,
that's the kind of
it's
pressure he was on with.
but if you think about it, when you look at the Izzy fight, you say the same thing, right? Like, yo, was Izzy really there? Like, did Izzy really underestimate Strickland?
Personally, I right away was like, he must be injured or something
Right.
because you know the cat, you know Izzy, you know
You
his
know his
history,
performance.
but you also know that he doesn't really pull out of fights. He's been dealing with a knee injury, all that kind of stuff. Like me knowing that alone, I almost made the excuse for. Well, I basically made the excuse for him
Right. You
immediately,
started,
right there.
and I can respect fans that
I
do
can't
that
say
where they're
I
like,
can't say
yo,
I've watched Edwards enough to be like, oh man, that was a complete off night. Because it wasn't like Belal was like waiting and then it happened. He was from the beginning of the belt, from the moment the bell rang, he was on them pressure. He never stopped.
I think, but that's what I'm saying. Like looking at it from the perspective, like if a Leon Edwards fan was like, "Yo, it had to have been the time," but all these different things, I'm like, "Yo, I don't support your idea entirely, but I respect that it exists because when you like, I'm not a Leon Edwards fan in the way where I saw any of these fights live." But when I went back and looked at the fights getting ready for this one, I was like, oh, word. Like, I could see Leon performs in a way like he's slow, but he's active.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
the fights I've seen, he's never been like this at all. I've never said slow. Like, that was one of the things he dismissed him about. He said, I don't understand what he's talking about. He's too slow for me. I don't see him as a threat.
Right, because Leon is a faster striker. I don't mean he's slow like he's strike
No,
wise.
no,
I
like
mean like as far as the way he
fighting.
pressures, his fighting speed, the way he moves through the fight. He's not a very fast fighter. You know
He
what I'm
is
saying?
he does tend to sometimes be more of a counter kind of guy,
Right, he's very patient. Is the
but
word some
there
people
was
use.
like there was reads
But
there
this
that
was
weren't
completely
like
different. Right,
yeah,
this was completely different.
because I could go back and say that Izzy just got fooled by what Strickland was gonna pull up, and he like, oh, I thought I seen this reads, it weren't there.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what
I
happened.
think 100% that's what happened.
Yeah,
Like, I think literally, I think that they looked at the tape from the first fight. They looked at a couple of other fights afterwards, and they were like, "This Bilal, we can beat him," and they prepared for that.
yeah,
But
that
at the
too.
same time, Bilal was studying Kobe fight, Usman fight, this stuff, and going, "I need to adapt in these ways." Right? Even the comment about training with Khabib is like, yes, you trained with Khabib, but what did you train with Khabib? Because when he's training with Khabib right now, he's training specifically to beat you. When
Hmm.
you trained with Khabib, did you train for just grappling? Did you train for someone else? Like this guy is specifically training to figure out how to take you down with
Hmm.
one of the best grapplers to ever exist in
And
MMA.
if you had, and if you saying that Edwards trained with Khabib,
No, Bilal was training with Khabib.
I thought you were saying that also Edwards
Yeah, Edwards
has.
also has trained with Khabib, but
Yeah,
it was like,
that.
but what was it?
Yeah, that's work. If I'm Edwards, I'm like, damn, everything that he taught me is about to get used against
Right,
me.
that's a hole to expose. You
He
know.
should have known
So
that
I think it's things like that that they
because this is very
underestimated.
different.
They underestimated the Bilal that was going to come in, and that's where I go back to giving Bilal tons of credit because Bilal came in transformed. Again, even for the people who say Bilal's a boring fighter, if you only saw this fight, Bilal's not a boring fighter. He was active. He was putting the pressure. He
not
was
a-
moving
not a-
forward.
not a
He was
boring-
doing it.
not a boring
You know what I'm saying?
performance
Now,
at
is he a
all.
finisher? Is he dangerous? No. When he had the best positions on the ground, he didn't really do anything with
I mean,
it.
it's hard to say not dangerous when he was striking and hitting Edwards. Edwards was moving out the way and making himself susceptible to the takedowns because he didn't stay there. He would move.
But I think that still goes back to not figuring out the striking. Like getting that confused
No,
mid
but I'm
fight.
just saying I'm not comfortable with saying he wasn't dangerous or anything. We don't know. We don't know what kind of pop he was actually getting on those strikes because Edwards wasn't hanging
Well,
around.
I think he landed a couple of
Yeah,
them.
Edwards wasn't hanging around
But he
for
landed
it.
a couple of them
So
that with power we would know.
True.
You know, the uppercut,
but it's still
the
not
uppercut,
fair. But it's still not fair to say not dangerous.
the uppercut. Well, compared
he's just
when
not
you
like very
when you combine
dangerous,
that
like
with
a-
all his other fights, he's not very dangerous.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's again like the uppercut is a great example. Like that shit was so clean and so open, and all it did was pop Leon up and go, don't put your head there again.
You could tell his game plan was to drown him with pressure
Right.
and to possibly be able to finish him later. But
Yeah, he wanted to go to decision, and that's fine.
I
It's a
don't
winning
think he wanted
tactic.
to go to decision. I think he wanted to drown him with pressure, and then later he would probably get him. But Edwards fought very safe for the entire fight, man. He never felt any urgency.
No, I don't think it was an urgency thing. I think giving credit to Belal transformed so much that
Both can be true.
that Leon had to play it safe while he was trying to he was really just trying to figure it out for those 4 rounds.
For me, at least, both. I would say the point that is both a little bit of both. So both can be true. So
Then on the other hand, oh my God, did we have the dumbest fight moment of all year, bro? Like, it's not even worthy of a Bulls of the Night. It's just this ridiculous. We got Manel Kape and Muhammad Mokaev going at each other all week to the point of attacking each other in the fight hotel. Like they've been scrapping. They had to be separated during the weigh-ins. It was fucking craziness. And then they finally get them in the ring. And in the ring is all sorts of chaos and craziness. They got like 8 security guards in there. It's all crazy. The last security guard literally didn't step out the ring until the ref was like, "Are you ready to fight?" And the ref says fight. And these buffoons do nothing. That's why it's 2 stupid dogs. Because if you've seen that video online, the dogs are barking at each other through the fence, and then they open the fence and they just stare at each other. You sent me the updated version where they compared it to this now. Like that is literally the perfect. This was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to say the least.
yeah, it was. I'm a Muhammad fan. I don't hate Miguel, but this was such a bad showing. Like
It was bad.
Like,
and I'm
as
gonna
a professional, it's like I suck as a professional, but when you pay me to fight, I'm in there not brawling like I want to brawl outside the cage.
Right.
It
was messy. It was messy and embarrassing.
We like to watch fighters fight, and
I'm gonna give Manel the same.
They just show their fear.
I'm gonna cut Manel the same grace and slack that I'm assuming Dana White cut him, and that's to say, at least Manel Kape broke his toe. Right, at least he got injured in the fight in a way where him fighting defensively and not being able to pursue that urgency makes sense. But that happened late in the first or in the second round, so that whole beginning of the fight was pointless.
There's rumors that he might have broke it before in the brawl.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then try to play it off in the fight.
Well, not just try to play it off, play ball for the company and didn't pull out.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So that might have been the last straw for Muhammad. Because as I told you,
because if that's the truth.
Listen, I've been online seeing so much stupid stuff of people saying it's messed up what Dana's doing.
I don't think it's messed up. You gotta go.
They're thinking that he got cut because he's a boring fighter. No. You're a boring fighter, and you're a problem outside the cage.
You're more exciting being a problem outside the cage, which is nuts.
And like this kid is 23 years old. He's really young, but he has to mature. Like, I mean, I don't want to say that rumor is true. We don't know, but
I mean, based on everything we're seeing.
No, the rumor of the toe. We don't know if that's true. We don't know that that's true. But the truth is, he was cut for reasons that are not fighting.
Yeah.
As a fighter, you have the longest winning streak of the division.
He was cut. He was cut for being a diva behind the scenes.
That's
And
it
I
does.
did agree with the internet and the idea that the way Dana said it at the press conference was a little harsh. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well, he didn't really
but
get
you
into
can tell he's
details.
frustrated.
He didn't get into details, and he also kind of washed his hands of it. I didn't like that.
That's what I
part.
mean. He didn't get in. It's not about
Usually he
getting
gets
into
in front
details.
of things.
It's not about getting into details. It's about the difference between saying, the PFL is gonna have themselves a great fighter.
No.
Versus,
I was talking about the fact that he said that other people like the people in the company they don't like working with him and stuff like that. But
oh no, I'm saying I'm
kind of
just
washed
talking about
his hands of it like it's not.
no, but I'm talking
my
about how the
decision.
harshness of how he said like he was gone is like he's the PFL will have a nice guy.
MMA Theory had a nice little thing online that I had to repost. Like he was talking about how it was it was explaining the whole thing about also how he's been a diva backstage, which I already knew. I already told you about that. And Underrated was saying how the UFC has always been able to do this and survive because what happens is he's gonna go on to another company, whoever's their guy there, he beats them, UFC wins anyways.
Yep.
For credibility.
And then best case scenario for Mokaev, what I'm hoping for personally, he matures in another organization, does some great things, and then Dana's like, yo, you want to come back? He comes back, and then he has his shot at the title. But isn't it crazy that just two episodes ago we were saying he had a title shot?
I 100%. Well, that's the thing. If
nuts,
he's not,
bro.
if his contract, if his contract is not up, it's hard for them to deny him a title shot after that win, even though it wasn't crazy.
Nah, it's easy to deny it after that win.
No, they're not.
Yeah, all the chaos that he caused before that is punishment. He's not getting that title shot.
That's true. He was.
If he was still on contract, that would be his punishment.
There was talks about suspension and all that too. So
even without the suspension, like the unofficial punishment would be you got to fight one more time before your title shot, and you got to fight somebody that's decent.
No, I mean that's all he's wanted. He hasn't been able to get those opponents. But
Alice Ardeline is about to cause fireworks in a lot of people's living rooms, my brother, because that girl is built incredibly. Yo, we thought Mackenzie Dern had a wagon. Alice Ardeline is showing up to the UFC, and the craziest part is she's actually pretty good as a fighter. Like it was a solid fight between her and Mama B.
She's a fun fighter.
There's a lot she has to learn.
They put on a good show, but they definitely very green fighters.
Very much.
And we talked about that a lot this week. How the names didn't pop up, the fighters weren't high level, but the fights were great.
Yeah.
The fights were great. I don't know why Dana was so pissed off on his birthday.
Well, I mean, I understand why he was pissed, bro. 7 decisions straight on a 12 fight card.
I get it, but were the fights terrible?
Yeah, for the most part. Bro, again, thinking about just this fight specifically, right? Mama B versus Alice Ardeline. It was a good fight for the level of fighters that they are.
Yeah.
Right? Like for where they level, but like the level of fighters that they are, we don't usually want to see in the UFC. Or not that we don't want to, that's not usually what they give us.
It's harder to matchmake them, and they did it. They were evenly matched. They went to decision.
No, this was Alice's first fight. So she had a UFC debut. This is Mama B's third.
I'm not talking about inexperience. I'm talking about it was an evenly match because nobody finished each other. They were both low level and weren't exposing how terrible they were at certain things.
Yeah. They were both pretty badass.
So what I'm saying is it's usually harder to matchmake with them because somebody's gonna run through them.
Yeah.
And they didn't run through each other.
That's my defense of it's not a good fight, realistically. Like, yeah, it was competitive because of the level that they're at, but that's like saying just because you saw a competitive peewee football game, it makes it better than a college football game. Like, nah, bro.
Well, guess what? If that Pee Wee game goes to triple overtime and the college game is 57-3, yeah, it was better.
This guy. All right, I'm gonna let you have that one. I don't got nothing else to go after that.
Triple
But
overtime.
I'm on the side of Dana where I'm like, listen, I understand why he will be frustrated, especially with it being his birthday card, especially with them all pressuring him at the
I
press
mean,
conference to raise the bonus, right? Like all these extra elements come into play, and it's like all of this is like for real, bro. And you got to think about everybody always talks about the talent, right? As we call them, right? The fighter, the athlete, the actor, but we hardly talk about the promoter or the producer. And in that conversation, Dana was also awake until 6 o'clock in the morning for these fights, sitting behind a desk.
fair.
So for the fights that are boring, that he's not really engaged with fully, he's still sitting behind his desk just trying to keep his eyes open, bro.
Fair.
Like,
Dana, you might have to hire this guy.
yo.
Fair. That's true. He was cranky. He was cranky.
I
But
mean, so he got the right to be a little cranky and be fucking annoyed by them fights.
I had to drive an hour after that too. I wasn't
Yeah,
completely
he
awake, but
wasn't
I was
exactly,
alright.
but you
I thought
wasn't,
it
you
was.
wasn't,
I
you
thought
wasn't
it,
fired up like driving home after Alex
bro.
Pereira fight.
I mean, I was kind of pissed, but it was good. Only pissed like I'm wrong about all these fights, bro.
Yeah, and that's the other downside.
was
We
it
lost
was
mad.
it
Like
was.
I can't imagine how much money Dana lost.
Oh man, you say he lost? He's betting on. Oh no, come on, stop it,
Bro, listen, I don't care what anybody says, and anybody who tries to make this an illegal thing is being crazy. Amongst friends, we don't need the government involved, right? So there's laws against betting, but like Dana with his boys, if he's placing little $5,000 bets here, you buy lunch or dinner for this, like little shit like that is happening, bro. So you know he's sitting there every now and then going, "What the fuck? I gotta buy the neighbor's lunch." Like little things like
allegedly,
that. You know what I'm
allegedly.
saying? Like it's fun. It's funny stuff. I wouldn't doubt it. All right, what else we
I
got?
like the first point better.
Patty the baddie really is a baddie, bro. My son
Whoa,
out here crushing.
pause,
Crushing. No. I'm
pause.
not. The baddies show stole the term baddies from being attractive women to being women who like to fight. So baddies counts for anybody who likes to fight from now on, okay? That they changed the generation of that word. It no longer, bro,
It's
there's
his
not a
nickname,
single
Patty
girl
the
on that show
Batty,
that's actually a
but he is
baddie,
a
bro.
bad man.
He's a bad man. He gets the work done, and he
He's
proves it this week against
100%
Bobby King. I mean,
told me
against
to
King
shut
Green.
up.
Against King
And
Green. Now the
well,
question in this
I'm
one.
not that big on King Green, but it was how impressive it was. How I didn't realize how much bigger he
Oh,
was.
so I guess that my question won't be that big of a one, big for you, because
Why?
I was gonna say, was it more of a mistake on Green's part for trying to wrestle versus going into it and staying on the feet?
Well,
Because on the feet, it's on the feet. It looks like King is the better striker.
it
We
looked
didn't
like
get to
it.
see that because it went straight to the
Oh
floor.
no. We saw enough. He couldn't find the range. He was getting
Yeah,
touched.
he was trying to make the range.
He
Yeah,
couldn't find the range. He was getting touched, and he made a decision that was a bad one.
real bad, real bad,
Batty.
real bad, real bad one.
I mean,
Uh,
I immediately was screaming at the
It's
screen, "What are
interesting
you
though, because
doing?"
like with Patty, I feel like him and I feel the same way with Molly. And I hope this doesn't come off offensive in any way. I don't mean it that way, but like they are entertaining fighters. Right? Like
100%.
they're the WWE fighters of the UFC. Like you like it doesn't ever matter if they fight for a title or like it doesn't really matter who their opponent is. It's just really fun to watch them come
I
into the
mean,
ring, watch them come into the cage, watch them fight, watch them do their thing, win or lose. Like even
it's not
Molly
something.
McCann versus Luna Brazil was only fun because Molly McCann was also in the cage.
Well, she was
Otherwise,
getting
it
whooped,
was
but
she was getting whooped. She was getting whooped, but the
this,
pacing of
but
the
it's
fight
not
was
like
not
she's. It's
entertaining.
not like she's so fun that like who she is. It's what she's built. She's built that.
Yeah, no, she
She
built
built
that for
that
sure.
fan base
For sure, for sure.
and
People are coming into it, and
yeah,
it
and,
just
and
keeps getting bigger.
those people fell in love with her. Sometimes it's not even the fighter.
Nah, it's just their personality.
Most
That's
people
why they have that show up
most
here in the
people
UK.
realize that Molly is in the middle level of whatever division she's in. Like she's not. The potential is not sky high.
Do you feel like Patty? Do you feel like Patty is?
If we're going to that wrestling references, she's the girl that's gonna put people over, gatekeep. She don't
Well,
put
no,
people over.
I wasn't going that deep of a
But-
reference.
but-
I was
but
just
I
saying,
think-
as far
but
as
I
people,
also think-
people aren't signing up specifically to see her like fight. Like you said, they're not looking at Molly Meatball McCann as like the fighter. We're going in to watch the best
No.
fighter. They're going in there and going, we're watching Molly fight. And we love watching Molly do things. You know what I'm saying? Even the show she has with Patty, like it's really just about their life.
Even while getting whooped.
Yeah,
Did
even
she
while getting
ever
whooped,
give
they
up?
love
Did
watching
she
her
ever
fight.
give up?
Nah.
That's something she's built, a reputation that she's built, like, and fan base didn't understand that about her. Like,
And that's what they love.
that's the show you signing up to
But
watch.
do you feel differently about Patty? Like, do
I
you think Patty?
I used to think that he was gonna be that way eventually, and they were just building him up slowly and slowly. But whatever pace he was building up, the levels is growing, and I need to stop doubting him. I mean, depending on who they put in front of him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say it as
But-
doubt. I'm saying it as I just,
but
or
solid.
maybe I can see how it comes off as doubt, but I don't mean it as doubt. I mean it as like Patty is gonna be fun to watch no matter what. He's like a new generation Nate Diaz. Like you're just super fun to watch. Hopefully you get a title, but you're fun to watch no matter what.
So good. I immediately thought maybe Tony wasn't that bad that fight because he couldn't get Tony out of there.
Yeah, but it
wasn't-
was also a different Patty.
That was Patty's last fight, though, is what I'm saying. So it's like
Yeah.
either he
But
grew,
he
he grew a ton.
I think he grew a ton because he took a lot of criticism from that fight.
I get that.
And he had a little time off because of the ACL,
But he
right?
was so good. I'm literally thinking Tony might win his next fight.
Wow. Ooh, wow. Oh, my God.
Who's Tony fighting?
Ooh, Michael Chiesa.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if he's beating Michael Chiesa, but it might be a good fight, though.
Shit. No, it's going to be a
He
good
might
fight.
even be
It's
able
gonna
to
a good
finish
fight.
Mike Chiesa. Don't get it twisted,
Wow.
though.
Wow.
I don't doubt Tony that much. Although Tony's looked so bad lately.
Wow.
Wow. I got a couple wows.
I was right about sprinkling that over money on RoboCop.
Bro.
That was a great call, huh?
I mean, I was
told
going.
people, man, that was the one.
I thought the speed was going to be bad for him. He didn't.
He just couldn't put him out. And I called it. I was like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like this is one of those fights where we're all expecting it to go one way, and it's just not going to. And that's exactly what happened.
I felt that way too,
not-
and that's why I went with
CLD?
CLD. But
had to go with Gregory. I went Gregory the over, but I put it in a parlay, so I still lost that night. It doesn't even matter. But
man.
again, going back to the Dana conversation, I give Dana so much shit sometimes. Like when I talk about the things he does, and I gotta give him his props when I talk about the things he does too. Like it's both sides. But again, going back to Dana thinking it was boring, like bro, Gregory Rodriguez and CLD went to decision.
But that was a good fight. One-sided, but yeah, I guess you could be mad at the way CLD fought. You could be mad at him.
You could be mad at that
Like he tried to stay safe, did not.
because if
Sure,
CLD
yeah.
takes more risk, the fight instantly becomes more dangerous.
He either chins him or gets chinned.
Right.
But
If one of them is
Easier
playing
said
it
than
safe
done.
and they're both monster strikers like that, you get that type of matchup,
that and
which is what I expected from Ian Gary and
that and
MVP.
RoboCop got some great jiu-jitsu. You just don't usually go to that card.
Yeah. People always skip out on that part.
Yeah, I was bugging when I saw
felt-
him shoot
I
for a
did feel like
takeout
he
on
was-
him. I'm like, are you
I
kidding me?
almost bet a little bit of money on the submission. I'm really glad I didn't because obviously it didn't happen. But like when I saw the footage of Gregory training with Pereira, I was like, oh, he's gonna wrestle. There's no way they're gonna release this type of footage and he's gonna go in there and strike, bro. That sounds crazy. And he went in there and wrestled and did a little jiu-jitsu. You know? All right, let's talk about something really funny that happened during the fights, right? Because I don't know who he thought he was fooling, but Jonah Hill decided to step into the ring, step into the cage against Modestas Bukauskas.
Yeah, I have no
and
idea
did a
what his
goddamn
name is,
good job, bro.
Because I was just calling him Jonah Hill.
No, that was Marcin Prachniow. All jokes aside, Marcin Prachniow looks dangerously similar to Jonah Hill. If Jonah Hill made an MMA movie, Marcin Prachniow would be his stunt double, for sure. Like, it was like a picture-perfect match. And Martian almost got it done multiple times, bro.
I mean,
Modestus is a
he almost got put out
survivor.
multiple times too.
That
It
fight,
was just a back and forth.
But
back
again,
and
that's
forth.
another one of those fights where it's like,
Whoa.
it was just sloppy.
It
Like
was,
it's not
but
if you're a Dana White who does this professionally
wasn't.
and watches fights professionally, that back and forth that felt exciting to the average person who tunes in every once in a blue, you understand is not keeping your Corey audience excited. Cause it was just a sloppy, wild, weird. Like we were tuned in, but we were like tuned in with questions. We were tuned in like, yes, this is looking crazy. We were literally like, what is happening?
Finish your breakfast. Finish your breakfast. Oh, other way around.
Yo, it
Finish
was
your
nuts.
breakfast. Finish your breakfast.
Finish it.
All the way around.
It
But
got
they were
turned
just
around
going back
somehow.
and forth, bro.
And in the weirdest, like it wasn't even good transitions you can call out. It was just a bunch of.
It was
fighting.
enjoyable to watch, but yes, if we're talking about levels, it was bad. I get that, but I kind of expect that when I turn on an event when I don't know the guys. If I don't know who they are, kind of expect that they're either going to be somebody just breaking in or somebody who's not that good.
I guess my expectations are high because whenever I don't really know too many of the faces, I'm like, they must have did something to impress Dana, and we about to see some heat.
No, I think tuning into this event, you definitely have to go past like so many names and be like, okay, this is where it's going to be. So. Yeah. So I kind of expected that.
Nah, the
but
early,
I also expected,
like we said last week,
I also
the early
expected
card,
somebody to stand out.
The early card was going to be light. It wasn't. You know who stood out in the early card?
Jonah Hill? Oh, besides Jonah Hill. Sorry.
Jonah Hill stood out. Besides Jonah Hill was Mick Parkin, the big knockout.
Yeah.
And even that fight wasn't crazy impressive or stellar, but
seen it coming.
It was
no shocker there.
And now I like I'm not questioning my boy Waldo's knockout, but Luka also did the chicken dance when Mick Parkin hit him, bro. So you got to do something more impressive, Waldo, especially now that you just got matched up against a fan favorite. So look at me, bro. Listen. I'm going to call you later this week, too, and say the same thing. But listen, you got to do something impressive, bro, because you can't go in there and beat a fan favorite in a boring way. That shit is going to tank the stock, bro. Going to tank the stock. Even myself, I'm a big fan of Chris. I'm a fan of the Bear. I wasn't a fan that he changed his nickname. I don't know what these name changes is about, guys. Stick with the legacy. It's working. But I'm a fan of the Bear.
He's a fun fighter.
So you got to go in there and you got to keep it exciting, bro. Keep it exciting. Get it done exciting. And yeah, that is one big fight that I'm looking forward to. Of course, biases as known. Waldo's a big friend. Came in and appeared in my movie for me. So bias there. But I'm looking forward to that fight very much so.
No bias for me. I still hope Waldo gets it done big time.
I think it's about time for him.
I was very critical. I was wondering what was going on. He was calling people out, not getting a fight. This isn't exactly what he was looking for. It was a lot lower. He was looking way up.
Higher. And that's the other reason you got to do it. You got to do it impressive because that's how you're going to move up the rank.
And this is what they gave him. But I do think it's a good matchup in the sense that you have the reputation of not being all that exciting, being a counter puncher, and you got a guy that's very exciting. So we gotta.
And I'm pretty sure you got a little bit of a height advantage.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. It's like me versus,
a little bit of height advantage.
Me versus...
just a little bit. Just a little bit. So let me see. What was there for breaking news this week? There wasn't really a lot of MMA news this week so far.
There's been some fights being booked for later cards.
Oh, the Sphere is officially announced.
That too.
That's something big there, right? Like we officially know Merab versus Sean is happening. We know officially Grasso and Shevchenko. Shevchenko finally said, you know what? I'm going to go in there and finish it, so I don't even need the judges.
Come out with a Mexican flag, man. Come out with a Mexican flag. They'll love you too.
My boy Raul Roses Jr., shout out to Raul opening the card, bro. Congrats to him.
Can you do it?
He is
do his catchphrase. Chee-wee-wee. No
you gotta give it to him. I forgot who Ignacio Bahamondes is fighting. But that should be a really fun fight too. Man, let's pull that up real quick because there's a bunch of really exciting fights on that card.
It can be great, man. It can be great, but the boss might curse them out at the end of the night if they don't show up.
If they don't show up, it'll be pretty bad. It'll be disappointing again. And we don't want to disappoint Dana twice like that. Not in 1 year. Not back to back. You know? You think Dana gets more disappointed when the fighters disappoint the fans or when they disappoint him?
I think it's the same thing.
Think it's the same?
I think he's a little more.
Oh my God! How could I
critical.
forget Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez? The fight we didn't know we wanted until it was given to us and taken away, and we're getting it back. Let's go, Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. That's gonna be, like we already said, that's gonna be a phenomenal firecracker of a fight. I thought I had something on my glasses. Like
it could be a chess match because they're both so good everywhere, but just that. I don't know.
I don't think that. I think that they're both.
It's the way they fight.
And that's what I was gonna say. The way they fight, and they're both so aware of the fan energy that they're gonna keep it with the energy.
Diego might be Brazilian, but he has so much love with Mexicans.
Right. And then Brian
seems like Spanish. Seems like Spanish is his first language. I always see him speaking Spanish. He's not talking Portuguese.
That boy be talking Spanish hard.
Yeah, it seems like it's his first language.
We got Esteban Rebovic versus Daniel Zellber, Ode Osborne, Ronaldo Rodriguez, Ignacio.
Sorry to cut you off, but maybe you think it's because what we think that the translator for Portuguese is terrible.
Yeah, he was just like, I'll just do this myself, bro.
He'd rather just speak in Spanish where everybody
the translator's a little better too.
Yeah, I'm saying like
that might be it.
Like it just hit me.
Nice
it just hit me, but it kind of proves my theory right. We always say that like they said so much more than that.
Said so much more than that. So much
more. And like
Bahamondes is fighting Manuel Torres, Irene Aldana versus Norma Dumont, Kevin Borges versus Edgar Chairez, Yasmin Yaragui versus Ketlin Souza.
God bless.
And Raul Rosas versus Richie Lang. That's gonna be a really tough fight for him. That's gonna be a really tough fight. And I think I'm hoping he gets it done. As you can tell, I'm a fan of Raul. I love what he does. I love the. I want him to do a little bit more. Maybe I don't pay enough attention, so take this with a grain of salt, of course. But I want him to do a little bit more with the cleft lip foundations and that whole situation and inspiring the kids. I think he's doing a lot already.
Just speaking on it more.
I think he's doing a lot already, but just could do a little bit more.
Speaking on it, you just got to speak more about it.
Yeah. Are you excited for the Sphere? Does that look like the greatest card that you could put together?
I'm excited for the top of it, but the bottom could be fireworks. That's the thing.
It's missing something?
No. I'm not that guy searching for more and more. Okay. You get what you get, and sometimes it might miss, sometimes it might hit crazy.
But this is one of those times where you start to remember that Dana is a promoter, right? His job is to promote fights. So when he said the Sphere is happening once, and it's going to be in the greatest card, did he oversell it?
100%.
Based on what we got.
Greatest card, he 100% oversold it because it's still too fresh. UFC 300 was just right there, and it's the best card I've ever seen.
Right, and it's hard to top that. And some of UFC 300 happened by accident. That's the real crazy part.
I've been watching this sport for how long now? That was the greatest card I've ever seen. Yeah. That thing is too fresh. You gotta let 10 years pass before you put out a card and call it the greatest card ever.
I think it's that. But remember, the Sphere happened before the Sphere announcement happened before 300. So he's been promoting this as the greatest card since. And I think that now he's just kind of stuck there.
As a promoter, you're gonna be redundant.
You couldn't see 300 coming. That was, especially with the fact that the Pereira fight, Pereira and Jiri, was a last-minute addition. I wasn't even supposed to be there.
But once it was put together, even before that, you knew this was going to be special.
Yeah, you knew it was
going to be special. Yeah. Now, the question is, will they deliver?
Right.
They delivered.
They delivered. Now, what if Dana actually always knows something we don't know, and that card delivers, bro?
But his energy
is the
energy that he's feeding off is the fact that he understands the Mexican warrior
energy.
It's just a culture. Period.
What if he actually delivers? What if every card is a banger in that energy?
If every fight is a banger, it can compete with UFC 300 just because of Mexican fight style.
And I'm rooting for Dana on this one.
There's probably no grapplers in there. I'm not too familiar with the only ones that I would call the big time grapplers is Ortega and Lopez.
But we already discussed
these are two guys. These are two guys that stand and bang.
Yeah, they're different.
And as good as they are on the ground, is probably why they probably won't even go there.
Yeah.
They might not even go there at all.
I'm looking forward to that shit for sure. Tom Aspinal made a wild suggestion for a 4-way tournament.
I love it.
That is definitely never going to happen, but it is pretty much what we're looking at right now, right? Like the fighter, with the exception being Alex, right? Alex is the only one who wasn't really included in that, but the 4-man tourney was Curtis Blades versus Aspinal, John Jones versus Miocic, and now we got whoever is going to win Miocic and Jones versus Aspinal.
That's what.
So you got what you asked for.
That's what essentially is happening.
You just wanted it one night, and I completely understand why. Because for most of these heavyweight fighters, they're not really going through a lot of rounds. They're not taking a lot of damage.
Well, he isn't. he's on route where he feels like, yeah, my next fight I could probably walk through him and keep going.
Right, and keep going. But Alex is in the same boat.
But if he eats 15 kicks from Alex to the leg,
that's a different conversation.
And wins by a decision, or even knocks him out
after that
second, third round.
He might not want that.
Does he really want to get in there with John Jones or Stipe?
Right.
John Jones in particular being another leg hunter.
Another leg hunter. Right. So, but like I said, from the beginning, I said it's a bad idea.
Realistically, it doesn't really make too much sense. But
we do have.
Is it not fun to think about?
We do have the actual results of the real version of it, right? So we have Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, but I think it's just him finishing his fights early and saying, you know what, I might not want to watch John and Stipe fight and me sit on the sideline, then
wait 3 months.
Then wait for whatever kind of damage they took after.
Yeah.
Or if they even get hurt in camp again.
Yeah.
I might want to fight again under championship.
I'm looking forward.
Is he getting championship money for these things?
I think Interim gets pay-per-view, but a smaller split.
Well, still better than not. So he wants to keep fighting under that. Why not?
Hell yeah. I would keep defending that belt. That shit is as valid as it gets.
If the Alex fight
and everybody looks at his belt as
it clearly excites him. It clearly excites him.
It excites both of them.
I mean, he's mentioned. But
I don't think Alex will do it.
Alex says he doesn't want to fight for the interim.
No, he wants to fight for the actual belt. So he's gonna wait.
But if nothing presents him that makes sense in a division where he's walked through everybody except for one guy who doesn't seem to want to fight or wants to fight on his timetable, which is...
No, I think they're going to book that fight.
I think they will, but if...
That's next.
If it falls through.
That's next.
If it falls through, he might want to fight Tom.
No. I don't think so. I think he'll fight someone else in the division. It'll be an easy fight, but he'll do it. In the same way that Pantoja fought Usyk. Right? Like, it was all projected this is going to be a really easy fight. It ended up being a little tougher than he thought it was going to be.
I tell you, that was strategic. Yeah. He wanted to get him while he was still green. As green as he could.
Do the same thing in the lightweight division with Pereira.
It's what Mayweather did to Canelo, man. You get him while he's still green.
I can still get while he's green because I'm out the door anyway.
And when you do leave out the door, when that guy cleans the division, you're like, yeah, I'm the guy that got him.
Yeah, I did it to him too. You know what I mean? So, all right.
Which essentially happened with Mayweather and Canelo.
Moving into the lovely weekend of fights we have this week, there are a couple of, I don't know if I can say fights I'm excited for, but fighters I'm excited for, which is a weird, I'm not necessarily excited for the fight between these two guys, but I am excited to see both of them fighting again. All right, so first off, we got Cedric Dumas versus Dennis Tulilin.
Kind of strange, but I'll take it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is an interesting fight where, I don't know if I'm excited to watch them fight each other, but I am excited that they're both fighting.
I'm always excited to watch a fight, man.
That's savages. Bunch of brutes out here.
Well, this is the thing. At this point, I trust the matchmakers, like I said.
Yeah, well, no,
every now and then somebody gets ran through, and I'm like, damn, what
I don't
were
ever
they
think
thinking?
about it. I don't ever think about it like that.
I think of it like that a lot.
I just literally think about it
you see somebody that doesn't belong out there, you're like, damn. Matchmakers got it.
Maybe I'm the brute because even those I find entertaining.
No, they're entertaining,
Yeah.
but it's still in the back of my head. Like, who sanctioned this?
Nah, that never comes to my mind.
Well, a lot of times that happens to me before the fight. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Who's sanctioning that?
So in those cases, it's usually me just saying I don't want to see this fight at all. But like in a case like
Well,
this,
I definitely don't want to see the fight, but it's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to see
this
it.
fight, I'm not super excited to watch because watching them fight each other doesn't really interest me. But I'm excited because they're both gonna be fighting, so it's still gonna be cool. Versus like Jai Herbert versus Rolando Redoya. Like I don't give a shit about this fight.
Jai Herbert
I
right
don't
now.
care.
What's his claim to fame right now?
Jai Herbert is the twerking. Is the fact that he pretended to be gay. Is he the one?
No, you talking about Monkey Boy.
Monkey Boy. Yeah, you're right.
I'm forgetting his name, but his nickname is Monkey Boy.
Yeah.
Jai Herbert's claim to fame is he stunned the crap out of Ilya. Ilya had to after Patty and Ilya got into it backstage.
Yep.
He was fighting
Jai.
Jai Herbert.
And he almost lost
and
that.
Ilya almost lost. He almost got finished first round, and he recovered and finished him, murdered him.
That's right.
And then he was calling out Patty after.
So that's nothing there. This one, I don't know why. Every time I see Shamil Gaziev, I want to see him fight. It's
he's
weird.
He's not a fun fighter for me.
It's
to watch,
weird. That's what I mean. It's not even fun for me. It's just weird. Like every time I see him, I'm like, I gotta watch this fight.
He's good. Not exactly a fun fighter.
Yeah. So that's gonna be an interesting one. Two sloppy heavyweights for the most part. Lonzo Menefield, you're usually excited to see him fight.
That's your boy.
That's your boy. Versus Azamat Mirzakhanov. I just wanted to say that name. I actually don't really know if this fight's gonna be that interesting.
Well, Alonzo needs to bounce back after.
He is not on a good streak right now.
Getting smoked.
He is not doing well right now, man. So root for your boy and see what happens. Elves Brenner can be an exciting fighter every now and then, but I'm not sure who he's up against. Joel Alvarez. Maybe Ilya's bringing the Spaniards with him. They're about to come be conquistadors.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not familiar with these guys at all.
Me either.
Interested
I'm
in seeing
familiar with
what they
Elves
got.
Brenner, like I said.
Interested in seeing what they got, though.
Elves Brenner can be fun. He's pretty good on the ground, but nothing that I'm really like boom, boom over. You already know how I opened the show. I got to be excited for Mackenzie Dern versus Lupe Godinez. This is two absolutely amazing fighters. Mackenzie Dern needs some work on her striking for sure.
And her takedowns.
But her takedowns are not very good. Her grappling itself is pretty good. Her jiu-jitsu
she has good jiu-jitsu, terrible entries.
She's from up in the Massachusetts area around my way, so always got to root for them people. And Lupe Godinez is also another very gorgeous, incredible, talented, amazing fighter. And I low-key feel like this should have been on the Sphere.
What's the odds on this one?
They're not out yet.
I think Lupe has a good chance.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for both of them, but I'll be betting on Lupe.
I mean, if we're being biased, I would go Dern's, but I think Lupe has a chance.
Yeah. I've luckily been able to tame my bias with beautiful fighters, thank God, because otherwise there'd be money being thrown away everywhere. But I do think Lupe has the better striking, so that's going to be her big point. And like you said, Mackenzie Dern is not really good at her takedowns. If it goes to the ground, it gets dangerous. But if she can avoid being taken down, Lupe should be fine. And I think she's going to avoid being taken down. So, either way, I think Mackenzie Dern is the type of person who believes in herself enough to still stay in the game no matter what's happening. So it's going to be an exciting fight.
She's actually somewhat of a BMF in a world where there's not a lot of BMFs.
That's what I was saying. That's one of the people that I would put up.
Even when she's looking like does not belong, she goes forward. Mm-hmm. She goes forward.
Yep.
So we could talk about how her wrestling looks amateur. She goes for it.
She goes for it. It may not be the best takedown attempt, but she's going for it. And if she gets it, you do not want to be on the ground.
She's not thinking about the knee up the middle.
She do not want to be on the ground.
She goes for it.
We started talking about this fight earlier because you said something outrageous. That's why I was like, we'll get back to it if we need to power through that conversation a little deeper. Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chiesa.
Pick of the week.
Lock of the week is Tony Ferguson for Coach Mike. That's hilarious.
Lock of the week, man.
I'm also rooting for Tony. I'm also putting some money on Tony because, again, I just think that the odds are outrageous. I think both of these guys are not that good at this point in their career for the odds to be this crazy.
Mike Chiesa has been pretty good of late. He hasn't been.
But not for them to be this crazy.
He's not exactly on a decline, but yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, so sprinkling a little sign on the OG Tony Ferguson.
Crazy.
I think Tony should retire after this fight, win or lose. I think it's just time, bro. I
think Tony edges out.
You the man, bro.
Decision, man. That is just crazy. I'm gonna put $5 on Tony to win the decision.
There's a part of
I'm sure it pays $1 million. Nobody expects that.
Maybe I'm hoping for too much.
It pays $1 million, bro. You gotta try it.
Nah, the finishes pay more for sure.
No, you gotta bet the points.
I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna take a look and watch the finishes.
Nobody
have higher odds.
Nobody's expected it, so.
But
pay $1 million.
I feel like because Chiesa's been on a really good streak as of late, he's gonna come in hot and Tony's gonna get a chance to the sub. That's the crazy thing I'm projecting. That's my crazy bet right now. Other than that, I don't really see a win for Tony outside of that. But like I said, it's crazy that these odds are so wide. Like, again, we all understand Tony should probably retire at this point. We understand Michael Chiesa has the higher chance of winning. However, I don't believe these guys are at that point in their career where either of them should be this far apart.
Tony refuses to retire at this point.
Marlon Vera versus Davison Figueiredo.
Slow starter versus weird starter sometimes.
This fight is going to be boring as hell. That's what I project.
It's possible, man.
This fight is going to be boring as hell. But they're two guys who are pretty fan favorites, so it's going to be loud. It should hopefully get exciting, but it's going to be boring as hell.
Cheeto could knock him out. It could happen.
People don't want to hear that. That's really Cheeto's only odds of winning, bro. That's why his odds are already underdog, because his best chance is a knockout. We've seen him get outstruck in damn near every fight he's been in.
It can happen, like
every fight.
I don't know. Davison Figueiredo became somehow a higher IQ fighter when he was working with Henry Cejudo. I don't know who he's working with now, so I can't speak to that. But when he had that game plan the second time around for Brandon Moreno, he was fighting smart. Sometimes that for a fighter like him who's good in chaos, it's not always good.
We shall see, but I think that fight's gonna be boring.
It can be. It can be very boring.
Next up, we got an important one to watch because we got a bust. We got a fraud check. Shara Magomedov gets his second chance to prove he's that guy. Because that last fight, he may have pulled it off, but he ain't convinced me of nothing. And he's going up against Michel Oleksiejczuk. And Michel Oleksiejczuk got hands, bro.
He knocked out Mackenzie Dern's man, but he was getting worked.
He was getting worked by Mackenzie Dern's man at the last minute. He stepped up at the last minute for the fight.
So basically, we still don't know this guy's level.
We're not done yet, bud.
Basically, we do not know this guy's
level. Don't know this guy's level.
He fought against somebody who's...
Michel can throw hands. So this is that moment. Buddy, I said no. Get down. This is that moment that Shara has got to prove himself. You got to really prove what he's about. It's time. It's showtime. But I'm staying far away from him no matter what the odds are, unless they give me some crazy underdog odds like plus 300 for Shara, because everybody believes he's a fraud at this point. Not falling for it.
Not happening.
No bet on Shara. But most important fight of the night, I think we're split on this.
I mean, not for betting.
No, as far as like who you think.
No, I think Usman wins the fight.
Yeah, we're split on this.
I won't bet on it though, because
there's no way.
The odds don't make sense. You don't bet on that.
Sandhagen.
Unless you bet on a knockout, which I don't see him getting.
He's doing it.
He's a decision machine.
He is going to take it to points. He is going to outstrike Umar the whole time, and he's going to defend at least 6 takedowns, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
The Sandman is going to work. He's going to put this man.
Did I call him Usman? I'm sorry. I called him his cousin. Called him his cousin.
You meant
Umar.
You meant Umar.
Yeah, Usman's the one in Bellator.
Yeah. So No. I think this is probably going to be the best fight of the night. I think it's going to be a master clinic that Corey Sandhagen puts on. I think people are completely sleeping on the Sandman, which is crazy to me. He's been calling for this fight for years, so you know he's been studying the tape. He's ready for it.
Letting you finish because I got my take on that.
This is it's time. It's time for the Sandman. The Sandman time.
Think so?
Yeah, after this fight, he's going for the title.
I think Umar makes it boring, man.
I think that's what I'm saying. Sandman's not gonna let it happen.
You think so?
I think he's gonna defend 6 or 7 takedowns before Umar stops going for the takedowns, and then he's going to outstrike this man in a class that's gonna look like Max Holloway versus Calvin Kasar, bro.
I think he might outstrike him, but I think Umar's gonna take him down.
He's gonna be able to defend those takedowns in the craziest way, bro. That's what I'm predicting.
I don't see it.
Maybe I'm too big of a fan of the Sandman, but that's where I'm at with it.
I think Umar holds him down, man.
That's where I'm at.
Might be a very boring main event. Sorry, man.
Nah, I think it's gonna be exciting for me to watch my guy hold it down. But we should see, because also can't even deny a little bit of nervousness is definitely kicked in after watching Belal versus Leon. Right? Like I said, I still believe 60% of that loss is because Leon wasn't all there.
I want to believe that too.
But that 40% that Belal put in was phenomenal.
I want to believe that too, but I just don't want to. I don't want to see that rematch right away. Like, it could be bad for Leon, man.
This is not a fighter.
Could be bad.
This is not a fighter that I would die on the sword for to call for his rematch. Right? Like, I would fight harder for Sean Strickland. Like, the fight I put up for Sean Strickland it was way more than I would ever put up for Leon first.
It was just no defense. He had no title defense. So, in a division where you weren't even the guy that was supposed to get that title shot,
I feel like that also makes part of his story more meaningful.
No, it makes his story.
You weren't supposed to have the belt at all.
His story is 100% more meaningful and better. But
you weren't supposed to have the belt at all. And the guy that everybody was predicting was supposed to get the belt before you just fought you to a decision that even the company man believes you won. There's no more clear rematch deserving than that.
That's so bad on his part.
There's no more clear rematch deserving than that.
I believed Sean Strickland won. And with that, I wanted him to get a rematch. I just understood how he could get skipped.
Mm-hmm.
But Dana White saying he believed he won and still skipping him,
that doesn't look good, you know. But we all understand why.
Look good.
Like, looking at it from all sides, I don't have to fight it because I understand why it happened. Like, I get it totally cool.
No, I mean,
completely makes sense. There's plenty of reasons.
There's plenty of narratives you can push. Some better than others, but we all know which one's the one.
There's plenty ones to pick from, and they all make damn good sense. So you can't be mad at it.
But we all know which one is
Leon versus Belal. I don't care enough about this fight to fight for the rematch, but I am going to stand.
A fight you expect it to be boring.
I'm always going to stand on business and say, principle-wise, I still think this champion deserves his rematch.
He's defended his title twice.
Whichever way this goes,
he deserves to be next, if not next after next.
Right. Whichever way this goes, the fight, you didn't fight hard enough to really earn a rematch, so that the audience isn't saying what we're saying with Sean Strickland, because that's the difference there, where it's like, nah, bro, that fight was a fight. And honestly, it was super close. This fight is like, nah, bro, you kind of got washed, whether it's because you didn't show up or because he really outworked you. It is what it is. So you deserve a rematch because you were the champion, but if you don't get your rematch, I also respect it. I'm not mad at it.
But you get what I'm saying, in the sense that if you move on to the next guy and then go back to him, you put it to a place where nobody has a title defense, so nobody really has an automatic rematch deserved. Now, if they split, they can just get it done when they get it done, but you move on. You move on to Shavkat. Win or lose, Edwards is next, because it's not no split right there. If Belal beats Shavkat and he fights Edwards, now at least Shavkat has already he didn't wait for nothing. He got his opportunity, he lost it, and they can go for a third time.
I don't know.
Fourth time.
Like I said, for me, I always stand on the idea, unless the victory is super clear, there should always be a rematch opportunity.
I thought that was super clear.
You know what I'm saying? What, Belal and Leon?
Yeah.
I think the win was clear. I don't think the
But it wasn't.
the better fighter
It wasn't
was
as
clear.
it wasn't as dominant as Sean Strickland versus Izzy, and we believed Izzy deserved a rematch. But Izzy had like 4 or 5 title defenses. No, like 2 title defenses, and previously before that a couple.
Yeah, but at that point he had literally just got the belt back.
Yeah, he had just got it back from.
Just got the belt back.
So he didn't even defend it.
No.
That was the next fight
That was
after
his next
Alex.
fight after Alex. It was Alex, get the belt. Strickland, next. It was supposed to be Duplessis, but Duplessis got hurt and couldn't do it.
Yes, that is what happened. That is what happened. I thought for some reason I thought who was it? Yeah, he fought Cunningham. I think he fought Jared Cunningham in between that. Mm-hmm. Not crazy.
Right.
Not crazy.
He did
I'm
fight
not crazy.
Cannonier.
Yeah, he definitely fought Cunningham. Definitely fought Cunningham in between that.
Did he?
He did. But even that is just one title defense. But the thing is,
no, but it still counts.
It counts, man.
Yeah, it still counts.
He just became the first ever
again,
middleweight to recapture
You
it.
keep talking about Izzy like Izzy was denied a rematch. He turned the rematch down.
No, he wasn't ready to.
In this case, if Leon says he turned the rematch down, that's a whole different conversation, right? Like if when Dana said we got other plans,
it's definitely a different story because Leon clearly took 0 damage. He'd fight next time he
like, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
as
yes,
opposed to Izzy felt like he was nursing something. He needs to.
Yes, it is clear Belal won the fight, but it was not clear Belal is the better fighter. And when I think about who is the champion of the division, it's about who's the better fighter. And if there's any doubt in anybody's mind that Leon showed up entirely for that whole fight, which too many people were saying during the fight that he didn't seem like he was in, and in that 5th round, the way he exploded after seeming like he woke up, that leaves a lot of space for rematch.
No, it leaves a lot of space for debate.
Pantoja versus Urseg. If Urseg beats Pantoja, does Pantoja get a rematch?
Yeah, because it was so close. It was so close. One little thing would have got him the victory, and it would have. Yeah.
Exactly.
You saw his reaction when he heard the cards be that close.
He's like, goddamn.
So pissed. But that's the thing.
I think that wraps it up for this week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Main Event Fightcast. As you can see, buddies,
and Belal,
tired of our
I
shit
will
today.
apologize. I did not remember the name. Like DC did not remember the name.
Chill,
but
bro.
you that was a great performance.
Listen, Belal.
That was a great performance. I have to double down on that.
No, there was one more thing that we got to apologize for too, Belal. Apologies. Last week we said you were from Iraq. He's Palestinian.
I said Palestine. I didn't say Palestine.
No, you said Iraq.
I said that?
Yeah, you said Iraq, and I didn't know it all, so I just went with it. But then we talked about him being from Chicago, so I dismissed it because of the U.S. thing. Yeah, so apologies.
I apologize too. I did
big
not.
shout out to you for winning. We were definitely 2 of the doubters, and you proved us wrong. Congratulations.
Listen.
I hope you I hope you hold on to it because, bro, the way the world is going, and I'm not even saying us. I'm not taking credit for them. Just letting you know, the way people are going to flame you if you don't defend your title and your nickname is still Remember the Name, bro. Because with no title defense, Belal Don't Remember the Name is gonna ring even harder than it already is, bro. But nonetheless, congratulations. And I'm looking forward to your next fight. I hope you keep that belt. Hope you keep shining out. And I hope you keep speaking up for Palestine. Because shit that's happening is completely fucked up. It's completely fucked up.
See, I agree with the end of that, but I won't go down as that. Like, it don't matter if you never defend your title, if you're never as great as you were Saturday. That was your moment, and there's no way we can discredit that. I don't care if you get knocked out the first 2 seconds.
I'm not saying we're gonna do it.
No, I'm just
letting him know the internet's gonna do it.
Who cares? The internet is still flaming him.
They're gonna go crazy.
They're still flaming him. Listen,
yeah, they didn't justice.
They didn't like Aljo before the belt. They didn't like him with the belt.
They didn't like him after.
They didn't like him after. They just didn't like him. The same thing's gonna happen with Belal Muhammad. I am not one of those guys. I loved Aljo before the belt, after the belt. Still, never really loved Belal, but he 100% got my respect this Saturday. 100%. You said you was gonna do something, and you, goddamn it, you did it. Like,
Got that belt.
how else could I put it? You got my respect.
Got that belt.
World champion.
With that said, thank you for tuning in to the Main Event Fightcast. You can follow Mike at SF Big Mike. You can follow me at What Up Vega. And as always, tune in to the Main Event Fightcast. Like, subscribe, and comment below. And